And APB, American Protection Bureau, voted #1 best on Long Island for all your security needs. Call 631-390-9050. That's 631-390-9050. APB.
Dino Luzzi Energy Drink. Yeah, it's that good.
Hello, friends, and welcome to another edition, a patriotic edition of Dan and Benny in the Ring. I am joined, as always, by the Lafayette to my George Washington, the Long Island Ice B himself, Benny Scala. Benny, how you doing, buddy?
Dan, today is a very exciting day for a number of reasons. Of course, it's the 4th of July, a day when our great nation celebrates its birthday. So we celebrate with family, friends, food, and fireworks. But speaking of fireworks, we have some real exciting news. Dan and Benny in the Ring have joined forces with our good friends Monty and the Pharaoh. And we'll be appearing every Wednesday night on the Monty and the Pharaoh YouTube channel because of our great listeners and great guests, just like the one we have on tonight. Dan and Benny in the Ring has become an international phenomenon. I always, just like pizza and the Beatles, having started in 6 countries on 3 continents and having been listened to in 40-plus countries all over the world. In fact, we're the number 23 rated wrestling podcast of all time in Ireland. And guys like Kurt Angle, Jeff Jarrett, and Matt Hardy are actually in our rearview mirror. So you'll still be able to hear our friendly voices on pretty much every audio podcast platform. But now you'll be able to see our handsome faces every week. Well, at least Dan's handsome face. But I do rock one heck of a retro bowling shirt. So I know that, Dan, you're excited, just like I am, to launch a new era of Dan and Benny in the Ring.
Absolutely. It should be a lot of fun. I mean, we've had some crossover work with Monty and the Pharaoh in the past. Great guys, great stuff. And, I mean, I say it a lot when we talk about what we have coming up, Benny. It's outward and upward. And, again, I know it's kind of cliche at this point, but not a bad setup for something that started with a couple of guys, 2 microphones and a laptop, going on 3 years ago now. So here we go.
Yeah. Well, and what better way to kick off a new era than with an old friend? I don't know if we're his sponsor. I got an audience back here, or if he's ours. But you know what? It really doesn't matter. Now, in my entire life, 68 years, 1 week, and 3 days, I have never once quoted the Pointer Sisters, and I may never again. But I can truly say we are family, and it's an absolute honor and pleasure to once again introduce a true wrestling legend, a WWE Hall of Famer, and the founder of Boogie's Wrestling Camp and Hall of Fame Museum, of which I am proud to serve as the commissioner, the handsome Boogie Man, Jimmy Valiant. Jimmy, happy 4th of July, and welcome back to Dan and Benny in the Ring.
Oh, brother, man, Denny, hey, I don't, yes, sir, Mr. Commissioner, man, I take my hat off to you and Dan, and hey, I'm just honored, and I'm just so proud of Dan and Benny in the Ring for doing this and getting what you've done in just 3 years. It's amazing. It is amazing. Hey, I get so much feedback from y'all, and now by hooking up, what you're doing now and going, audio, video, I mean, the works, man, both ways. And hey, my goodness, brother, man, it's just going to get bigger and bigger for y'all and your listeners and also for BWC. I mean, we are, a sponsor. You're a sponsor of our show, and our camp. And Benny, you're doing a wonderful job, man. Everybody just loves you here at BWC, Jimmy Valiant Hall of Fame Museum. And I'm telling you, man, it's just an honor and pleasure. And hey, what a beautiful day today. Again, like you said, the birthday of the United States of America. Yeah, Independence Day, baby. July 4th, man, and I just love it. And I was up this morning, like midnight. Me and Captain Joe, we left at 3, and we went on to Veterans Park in Elkins, North Carolina. and we were with all the veterans, and they had all the festivities going, and I talked to a crowd a couple different times before I got back, and I said, hey man, I got to go do Dan and Benny in the ring tonight, and they understood. They got the big fireworks going, after tonight there, but they got it here in Shawsville. Our little community here where Boogie's Wrestling Camp Hall of Fame Museum is, and we want to welcome everybody any Sunday. Come any Sunday and be our guest and see, Commissioner Benny, live and in person, and yours truly, Handsome Jimmy, the Boogie Woogie Man in person, and our lovely First Lady of BWC is Miss Angel, and the First Lady, of course, of AWW. She has her own Angels Wrestling Wear Company, and she takes care of all that. And it's just our little town. Benny knows that. Dan, we don't even have a stoplight here, and it's just a little community right down from Christiansburg, 7 miles, but we're down in the valley, down in the holler here, and 5 miles on out in the country, man. And the North Fork of the Roanoke River is just straight across the street. The most beautiful places in the world here, as Benny can tell you, Dan. And you can just like almost touch the mountains here on either side of our camp. It's a beautiful layout. And hey, we just want to invite everybody out and come. And there's no charge to come and just spend the day with us. And of course, we're doing, Benny, I know he told you, Dan, we're doing our thing too, far as YouTube, and it's BWC, Wrestling Live from BWC, and I think we've done 26, 27 episodes now, and Dan, I've been in this business. Next year will be 60 years. I started wrestling in 1964, and our new T-shirts are out now, guys, and it's got Boogie's 60th career strong. It's a tie dye. It's beautiful, man, and of course on the back it's got the Boogie's Wrestling Camp. It's got all the information. It has our website. Our wonderful webmaster, which is Brian Powell. And that's Jimmy Valiant. At .weebly.com, jimmyvaliant.weebly, WEEBLY.com. And then, of course, you can email me straight up at jimmyvaliant at outlook.com, jimmyvaliant at outlook.com. Just Google Jimmy Valiant, man, and the camp will come up, and hey, you'll see everything.
Jimmy, we talked about it at the top of the hour. You've been on the show several times. We always a pleasure talking to you. We love having you on, and really how intertwined our shows have become over the last few years. But you mentioned it. You talked about the BWC. I don't think we've actually ever gotten a chance to ask you why you decided to open a wrestling school, and why, of all places, Shawsville, Virginia. I mean, you just said it. Next year will be 60 years. So you go back at that point, you'd been in the business for about 40, and then you made the decision to give back to the sport of professional wrestling. I mean, how did the BWC find its way to Shawsville?
You bet. Okay, it's a real great story. It's Dan, in the 80s, I worked for Crockett's for 81 till they sold to Turner, Ted Turner, in November of 87. So almost 7 years or 8 years, whatever. And as soon as our contract was over, Steamboat Wahoo, Piper, and whoever, Paul Jones, whoever, Flair, of course, whoever was on there, that 3-year contract that we signed, that's when WCW was formed and born, and and because Crockett sold out to them, and because we was doing the Superstation, Channel 17. Well, I used to come in here to Roanoke, and we're only people from Charlottesville, and everybody says, first of all, Dan and Benny knows, over the phone, I say, yeah, Charlottesville, Virginia. Well, everybody says, oh yeah, I know where. They think we're saying Charlottesville,
Right.
where our university is. No, it's Charlottesville, SHAWSVILLE, Charlottesville, Virginia. And we're real small, and like I said, we don't even have a stoplight, brother. But man, it's just mountain people here, and the whole thing is this whole valley. It's the New River Valley, and we're only like 20 miles from Roanoke, and Roanoke's a big city, so that's where you'd fly in and out if you come in. But the thing is, we would fly and do shots and wrestled the Roanoke Civic Center, and now it's called the Berkland Center. They changed the name then and a few years ago. But in the 80s, we would come here and every month we had the big show. Here, this was one of our big clubs. It was Roanoke. And we worked around, like we even worked Christiansburg, at the high school, and this is Crockett. Crockett in the 80s, Dan, they ran three shows a night, man, and Saturday, we had all big shows, of course, and Friday, and big shows really every week, every night almost, but the weekend big shows. We'd always work twice on Saturday, twice on Sunday. We worked 9 times a week, man, and they had 3 planes, and then it was a big organization, and right up with WWF, WWE now, and but the thing is, it was WWF, but I go way back to WWF. But anyway, I just fell in love with this whole valley, the New River Valley, and the mountains, and it just warmed my heart. I was really a born people in Tullahoma, Tennessee, and that's halfway between Chattanooga and Nashville. 75 miles either way, roughly, and man, Chattanooga, you got to Lookout Mountain. You can see 7 states. One of the most beautiful, biggest mountain there was, and ever, so I'm used to that sort of area, but here it's just so beautiful, and so I was in love with it. I fell in love with it, and then I was going through a divorce, which that's part of our business. I'll tell you that. And each I was married twice before, and I'll tell you both times was my fault, and I met and in fact I talked about it in my autobiography. But the thing is, I met a lady here. I made a lady here, and here is the whole reason why I settled here in Charlottesville, Virginia. I was doing a grand opening in Dublin, Virginia, which is maybe from Charlottesville, maybe 20 miles going, south. Off of 81, and it was a brand new Walmart, and it was like 1989 it was, and I was floating that year. And I wasn't ready to get married, but I was almost ready, and because I'm a married person, I love married life. My first lady, I had 3 daughters with, and I just love her to death. She was just a super person, and I was with her 17 years, and my fault, y'all. And then the second one, I had a son, a lovely son with, and 13 years with her. And then of course then I floated a year, and then I met this my angel, which is I married, and now we've been married 32 years, and haven't never had an argument in 32 years, and Benny knows her very well, and he would vouch for that. Man, she's just the sweetest thing, and she is a real the true angel. God sent her to me, and so here's the whole deal. Why did I do it? I was already in love the New River Valley and this whole area here, and then I fell in love with her. Was a no-brainer, So here's the kicker in the finish, man, is that the day that we met, she walked through that door in the grand opening in Dublin for the Walmart. She just came out to Shawsville that day, and she has two small children with her. One was 9, and now she's a doctor. She's almost 40 years old or whatever now, and our daughter and her son was, I think, 12, so he's in fact he lives right straight across the street from us, and in a home, so the whole deal is that she found this home. She was looking for a home. She was a physical therapist, and she was out with the realtor, and she was showing them houses, and they had an open house for the White House here, with the one that in fact she ended up buying, and when we hooked up, and I asked her when I took a picture with her and Angie, her little girl, and the doctor now, and I said, hey, are you married? And she says, what? This is, cause there's a little line, I'm just taking pictures for the store. I'm being paid by them, and so I'm just they're meet and greet. And she says, what? I said, look, please, I'm signing the picture. It was the Polaroid deal then years ago, and so I'm signing the picture, and I said, I got to talk fast, so I said, please just put your number down, and hey, I'm not like this, and I promise we'll take it real slow. And I said, man, but if you don't, you're going to walk out this door, and you're going to go one way, and I'm going to go another way. Hey, our paths may never cross again. And it's true. And she was just God sent. I mean, she was didn't know what to do, but she just put her number down, because I told her we'll just talk over the phone, take it slow, and I'll tell you how slow we took it, brother. In exactly to the day, in 4 months, we were married, living in the house that they showed her in Shawsville. So we laugh now. Angel found a house and a husband the same day, baby, because it was just great. But that's how I ended up here, and I'm telling you, it's the most beautiful place in the world. Yeah. Hey, next to heaven, and hey, next to when we go up to the square, the big square circle in the sky with our Lord Jesus. This is it right here on earth.
Jimmy, so I got here actually yesterday was 1 month that I arrived in Virginia. I've been to camp 3 times. This Sunday for Star Spangled Smackdown will be the 4th. So I leave my house right around 9:15. I try to make it there by 10:30. And, you talk about a scenic drive. Wow. I mean, you see it all. You see everything. It's really, it's like a masterpiece, looking at the road and seeing the beautiful mountains. But when I get there, it's usually around 10:30 or so. And the thing that does my heart good is I see students helping clean up camp. I see Charles Cash. He wrestles as a bad dream. Stacy Jacks. He's pushing a broom around the campus. And when I walk into I call it the BWC arena, the ring there, I'll see several of the students and alumni. They're already there. And, they're working. This is an hour and a half before camp's even starting. They're already there practicing. And you're there. I call it the boogie position, the gorilla position. You're in the boogie position, right by the snack bar there, the concession stand. Now, I'm normally a very high-strung guy, but when I sit down at ringside at BWC, to me, all is well in the world. I have 4 favorite places in the world. One is Field of Dreams in Dyersville, Iowa. One's Disney. One is the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. And BWC is the 4th. But just watching the love and respect these students have for each other and the way they help each other, it really does my heart good. And, any company, any major company, any organization, when things are good, it starts from the top. And I already know the answer to this, but when you founded BWC over 30 years ago, is this what you had in mind for camp?
You bet. Benny, Commissioner Benny. When I started out in 1964 with Dick the Bruiser, and then he sent me up to Vern Gagne, and then he sent me up to Sam Mushnick in St. Louis, then he sent me to the original Sheik, big time wrestling in Detroit. And of course, we did, as you started out, you just, worked on TV and they just ate you up, man, and this is how our business was then, and it's completely changed, but this is how they did it, and this is how I was trained. And the thing was, there was no wrestling school. Now, there was a few wrestling schools. I know there was one around Detroit there in the Cheeks territory, and I think there was one way up north in Chicago. Bob Saber had one, and I know there was one in Minneapolis, not Vern Gagne. That was way before Vern Gagne started his school and started training his stars. But then there was one there, and that's the only one that I ever heard of. But here, when I started, it was there was no school, that I could go to or whatever, and I just fell into this by I was managing a health club called the Acres in right out of across from Hammond, Calumet City, Illinois, just 20 miles from Chicago downtown loop. You could be, man, you're right on the Dan Ryan, and anyway, I was there, and I just fell into it because my boss, the owner of the Acres, he was one of the original Volkovs. He took Boris's place, and Nikolai, the original Steve Gobb, and he was from New Jersey, and in fact he was an Olympic lifter, and he went to Olympics for us in that. But and my boss real name was Frank Zila, and they were the Russians. They were the Volkov brothers, and I'm not talking about the Nikolai Volkov that teamed up with the Iron Sheik, in the 70s and 80s.
Yep.
Exactly. I'm talking about these guys were the hottest thing in the country. In the 40s and 50s, and the Volkovs, and so my boss, he took the Boris. He stopped wrestling, and in fact Nikolai, he was out and doing the Merchant Marines. He was a sea captain out there, and he wanted one more ride around, and so he took off a year, and he got with my boss, and they started wrestling again. And he got me, says, Jimmy, you should do this, man. You're young, you're good looking, got nice hair, good body. I said, man, you should. And I'm just 19 years old then, so they got me started, and there was no schools or nothing. So what they did, they introduced me to the Bruiser, and we would learn on the job, and that's really the best way. You couldn't be a wise guy, man. You had to, show your respect to, the people who come before you, and I teach that at our school, and you see all the respect these kids have for not only the business, and they want it so bad, and but for each other, and I give that respect back to my kids, and just like I did, to the ones that came before me. It just so happens now, there's not too many out there that came before me. All of a sudden, and it flies, man. Dan, it flies, brother. 60 years flies. I just can't, man. It seems like yesterday I walked in and just looked at all these big, big superstars, everywhere I went, and oh my goodness, man, and now all of a sudden, now they're looking at me, and it just that's how it works, But anybody that puts them boots on and can go through and do what we do, man, I take my hat off to them. Just like I said, I'm 80 years old, y'all. I got up at midnight, and we left at 3 a.m., we went and they let us loose around 2, and we drove back home, and I just I got home, man, and brushed my teeth and hey, washed my eyes, bing boom, and Angel, I laid down for an hour to do this, and I said, okay, honey, 6:15, get me up, man, because I got to be on the spot, for Dan and Benny in the ring, and you do what you got to do, and it's just it's in your blood. You can never get it out. Hey, I raised 3 families in this great business, and my kids, yes, you bet, man, they come and they want it so bad, and I just feel for it. And it breaks my heart, Benny, Commissioner. It breaks my heart, brother, that these kids just like when I started, there was like probably over 30 territories. You could go and make your living and raise your family, and move from territory to territory, And I tell you about moving. My daughter, Robin, my oldest daughter, she's now 61 years old, 60 years old, and but now before she was in 8th grade, Dan, she was in 15 different schools. Wow. 15, man. So you see how many times we would move, and the promoters then years ago, man, in the 60s, they say, hey, don't buy a house here, guy. Hey, he says, if you buy a house, it better have wheels on it, man. Because the fans want to see new faces, and it's part of our business, part of our life, and it's rough, man. I take my hat off to the boys and how hard, and oh my goodness, we'd go days without sleeping, man. I'm telling you, driving, we'd have to be a different city, different town every night, 7 days a week, and some of these shots 500-600 miles for the next day, and the next day you got to go 400 or 500 more miles the next day, and you make a loop, you're lucky to get home. It's like a truck driver, man. You're lucky to get home, once a week, man. And it's just a hard life, and it's just very rewarding, and I never let it go to my head, not one time. I'm just the same old guy, man. Hey, I put my shoes on, and my pants on one leg at a time. So does Ric Flair. So is Hogan, The Rock, whoever. We're just saying the people, and I tell my kids too. Hey, if you see, someone that you really idolize and love, and just go up and talk to them, man. Hey, they'll talk to you, they'll help you. Just don't be a wise guy. Getting back to when I started, you couldn't be a wise guy. Well, you can't be today. You got to be respectful, and I mean sincere. And we can tell if this is put on, man. We can tell, brother. Because if you was a wise guy, thought you knew it all, or man, you're really cocky, went to your head, you start believing your own publicity, man. Hey, I'll tell you something, man. They would get you out of this. You wouldn't have a chance, and especially in my era, man. They'd hurt you, man. They'd break your leg. You'd be running off. I mean, out that door, with your tail between your legs like a scalded dog, man. I'm telling you, But I was raised different, in a nice Christian home, and I gave respect to my family, to my friends. It was just me. It's in me. And when I got the big break, Vince McMahon Sr. Gave me the big break, and once that happened, of course, then everywhere you go, you're on top, and you still got to prove yourself, but you're on top, and you're a money maker, and your reputation, sees you in front of you. You go in, they know, hey, he'll do anything we want. He's a great guy, man. It's nothing. The publicity or fame hasn't bit him. The money bug hasn't bit him. I was in New York and making like 500 a week. And when Vince McMahon let me turn on Strongbow, which was the number one babyface next to Bruno Sammartino, the world champion. Because we were tag team partners for 6 months, and I was making like 500 a week, man. This is like 1970, 71, and then brother, when that happened right there, boom. The very next week, my very next check, 1,500. Now I'm making like 1,500 steady every week. Just a kid, man. Just high school education, and where else can you do this, man? Make money like that. There's money like doctors and lawyers back then. That's a lot. That's a long time ago. It's just a blessing. But none of that went to my head. I blew all that. I blew it, but I wish I would have saved it. Like my dad said, it's not what you make, son. He told me this his whole life. And my father, we came from Tennessee. Was all born in Tennessee, but I was raised in Hammond, Indiana, up there in far north as you can get. But my father, he could never read or write. He went just to third grade, but during the war, I was born in 1942, and the war, Pearl Harbor, and started, and I was 2 years old when we moved up to Hammond, and he started working for Ford Motor Company, and they loved them Southern men because he just came off the farm, boy, and he was hard working, and he couldn't progress to being a foreman. They wanted to promote him so bad, but he couldn't fill out nothing. He couldn't read or write, but he was a hard worker, and he never missed a day's work of his life. He was a wonderful father, and again, I came from a Christian family. My mother and I went to church, man, until I was 15, and I didn't miss a Sunday or Sunday night or Wednesday night service, and unless I was really sick, and it's just how you were raised and how you are, and it progresses all the way through your life, and it's just something here that, Commissioner Benny, you just such a blessing that God sent you to BWC, man. Just knowing and it all came from Dan and Benny in the ring. This is how it all started, and look what happened, man. And hey, it's smoking.
Yep.
I always like putting everything in perspective. Jimmy, you were just telling that story. When you turned on Jay Strongbow, that was 1971. You said you were making $1,500 a week. Adjusted for inflation, that would be the equivalent of making over $11,000 a week today. So to give you an idea of how big a deal that was, I think about Benny. I mean, think about how many shows we'd have to do to make $11,000 a week.
I'd have to live to 875, I think.
Yeah, you're right, Dan, and it was, and it was just unbelievable, and it's just something. But I've seen it just ruin people, if they don't have their head on right, and it just go on,
I'm Rosa Mendez, and I'm here at the #1 Long Island broadcast, Monty and Pharaoh. I had the best time ever!
Hey, listen, Daddy, you're listening to the #1 broadcast, Monty and Pharaoh, Daddy, in Long Island. The best pro wrestling broadcast of all time, I think.
Jimmy, I got to tell you, man, it feels good to be back on YouTube. It was quite disappointing what happened to us, but we bounced back fairly quickly.
Well, what else would we do? We're almost at 5,000 subscribers.
Well, speaking of that, man, we need more members.
Okay.
What do you think we need to do to get the people of those 5,000 subscribers to come on and join the team as a Monty and the Pharaoh member.
Nudity is out of the question. Any other ideas?
I don't know, man. I don't know. But what I do have a few ideas.
Well, just like Prel, they should tell two friends, and they could tell two friends, and so on and so on. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Check out all our content.
But that's, you know what? That's why you're the star of the show, because guess what? Members get special content. Even we spoke about it. Pharaoh came to me one day and he goes, man, what's the deal? I can't even watch some of these videos because I'm not a member. And I said, there you go, Pharaoh. You got to be a member because this is what the members get. They get free content
Nice.
that none of the other fans that watch this show get.
That's right.
You get free autographs from some of these wonderful stars that come in, right?
Nice.
All you do is you go to the MNP webpage, or right, our own page, and shoot us an email and say, hey, man, I want a picture of Tommy Rich. I want a picture of whatever. And boy, that's on its way.
We give them their choice.
That's right.
We rock.
We do rock.
And you need to rock too. Join.
Sir?
Ah.
Manscaped?
Uh-huh.
You know, have you tried the new equipment that's been sent?
I'm afraid because it says weed whacker. I'm scared.
Maven, Manscaped, what are you thinking about
Love it.
Manscaped, dude?
Love it.
What do you use it for?
Necessity. What don't I use it for? Put it this way. The only hair I have on my entire body is these eyebrows.
Yeah.
That you see. These caterpillars racing to the middle of my nose. That's it.
That is it.
That's all I have. And that's all I want.
That's the
So Manscaped is a
You-
must.
We were talking before the show. There's nothing worse than just hair.
Yeah.
Right? Hair on a woman, hair on a man. It's just bad.
Absolutely. And it's the one thing that the older I get, it starts growing more in unwanted areas.
Absolutely.
I hate it.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
Just going to go out there.
Oh, boy.
Go for it.
You're doing a deed.
Yes.
Again, I don't want you to have to admit this because we, as men, we try not to admit this. But if you're going to
Oh,
go
I
do
know
the deed
where-
on a
I
woman,
know where
would you
he's
rather
going.
have her be hairless or a little hair, racing stripe, or
Racing stripe.
full retro bush?
Racing stripe.
Retro Bush is out.
Yes, thank you.
Retro Bush is out.
Yeah.
I don't mind a small, well manicured landing strip. Every now and then, if it's completely, and I'm talking like baby's ass bald, then I start. Where is that pedophilia line? I don't want to wander into that.
That's
thought
very
of it like
interesting.
that.
I never thought about that. You're a
Wow.
smart dude. Holy shit.
So if the landing strip is clean enough for the plane to go in smoothly, you're cool with that?
If the landing strip has, like I said, well manicured,
Yeah,
you can see both sides. It's not
Like blinking lights on both sides of that
I
landing?
just don't. I don't want. I don't want the shrubbery going off into unwanted areas on that as well.
Gotcha. Oh,
Yeah,
look
but-
what you found. Ooh.
I got to be all honest though. Hey, the older I get though, I don't think I can be as
Have you ever gone down there and she slowly brings down the underwear? Then
What is
retro? Just,
Absolutely.
You're like, whoa!
Wow.
Yeah, I'm
Like
46,
it
of
pops
course.
out?
Do you like walk out or what do you do?
No, I muster through. I muster up the courage to get
finish
He's
through.
a trooper. Yeah. He's a trooper. Got to give him an A.
Oh, not all heroes wear capes.
Yeah,
There you go.
I hear you.
There you
Listen,
go.
I couldn't
Super
say.
Bush.
I couldn't say. Well, if you have the same beliefs as Maven, does Manscaped could help you?
Absolutely.
The weed whacker.
Absolutely.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that I may have to, go in a room, close the door, and hang out with the weed whacker for a little while.
Man, I think you're a retro guy, aren't you?
I like 70s adult films, if that's what you're getting at.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
but
only
with that,
Ron
we're going to take a
Jeremy,
quick
Batman.
commercial break, and we'll be
Anyway.
back with this wrestling icon, Maven.
We will see you in a drop kick second.
Drop kick.
So many stories. Like Dr. Jerry Graham, what a character! And he was him and Jackie Fargo. They were tagged up there years ago in New York for Vince McMahon Senior. He used to, they did pay, every night. We'd get paid every night, guys, cash and boom, and he would get a big payoff, $1,000 somewhere, and that night, and the next day he's at the office when they open and wanting them advance. I mean, he already blew that, and he would get go out and get drunk and stuff, and he would light his cigars with $100 bills, man. And I'm telling you, he was just crazy, like that, and it just broke my heart to see him, later on, and he really lost his mind, and he just penniless, and man, he wishing now, I'm sure that he had some of them ashes from them $100 bills, but again, I blew my money. I did, I never saved. One year in the Crockett's, probably 74, whatever, I bought a brand new 74 Lincoln Continental, and it was a baby blue with white leather seats and a white vinyl top, and man, I drove it maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, and I seen a triple black. It was the same year, the same car exactly. It was the big. They were big boats, man. The big Lincoln Continental, and it was a black leather, black vinyl top, and of course black paint. And I bought the exact same car, only different color. And people said, Boogie, what happened to that baby blue Lincoln, man? It was just like this one, same year, same everything, And I teased. I said, oh man, the ashtray was full, I'm just, yeah, I had to get rid of it. The ashtray was full, and I don't even smoke, man. You know what I mean? It was just funny. But I'll tell you a story, and then oh my goodness, man, my brother, one of the boys, he says, Boogie, what'd you do with the blue one, man? And I said, well, it's right down the road down here, I traded it in, and he said, oh man, you kidding? And he went down and bought it, and he drove that thing for years and years, and Taylor, my brain is just gone right now. Terry Taylor, man, what a big star. Yeah, man, the Rooster, he went there to New York, the Rooster. But Terry, man, what a sweetheart. He bought that car. He was working with the Crockett's, and he went down right that day and bought that car because he knew there was only just a few miles on it. Broke in beautifully, man, and it's a brand new car. And he drove that for 7-8 years, man, and yeah. But I'd go through cars, I'd go through, man, everything. But hey, that's just part of life, part of living, and I wasn't trying to do nothing. It just whatever. But I came here and found my angel, sent to me from the Lord, and she really saved my life. And hey, I tell you, man, that hey, I did it all, brother. I was on cocaine 10 years, man. 7 days a week. I'd have it hit all over the house. Man, if I didn't have 2 or 3 8 balls, with me, man, hey, it wasn't happening, man. And I probably had $1,000 a week habit, man. And it was just crazy, man, the stuff that I did. And the reason I'm telling this, like I said in my autobiography, I could tell dirt on every person in the last 50 years in our business because I know, just like they know my dirt, man, But I told dirty dirt on myself, because I wanted to help kids that, hey, don't do this, do that, but, do it this way, and this is no good, and hey, I did steroid, I did everything, man. We all did, I did up and down, I did the pain pills. Hey, your body didn't know what to do, hey, I had to knock myself out at night, man, and with Valiums, man, I'd take a couple blues, man, and them were 10 milligrams, and man, I'd do cocaine right up till that, and then I'd drop them, and hey, it's just nuts. And sometimes you can't go to sleep. I'd grab a lamp. I tell the boys, I said, hey, here's how you go to sleep, man. I just whack myself in the head or something, and which I wouldn't, I just showed it. I'm working them, man. I said, here's how you go to sleep. You just whack yourself, knock yourself out. But yeah, hey, yeah, it was just a crazy life. But the devil had me, man, right there for 10 years. I lost all the sight of the real life, the real thing. But I'm back, and all the way I'm back with the Lord, and I'm back, being who I am, from a little boy, and it's just a blessing to be able to help these kids at BWC, and to have Benny here right by my side helping. And Benny, I'm telling you, you are one of our pride. We're so proud of you, that what you're doing for us, with us. You're right there in the ditches, man. Anything, well, that and of course you and Dan in the ring that sponsors our show. We have a big banner up with you, Dan. Your picture's right there with Benny, and the in the ring, and we show that as a part of our sponsorship, and of course Angels Wrestling Wear, and it's just a blessing to be able to just to be part of this. And the reason I did this, the one question you had, Dan, is because everywhere I went, once I got going, I'd have kids come up, man, I want this, how you get into this, how you do this, how you do that, and I tell myself, someday I'm going to start, I'm going to help these kids. I want to help them, because it's just so important to them. Yeah, you just see it in their eyes. They just, oh man, they're just, just chewing at the bits, man. They can't wait, man. We got the big sign right across, Dan, which Benny can tell you, the whole back wall. 30 feet, man, and it says, make your dream come true. Only you can make it happen. And when you do, that's you. When you come through that door, you're making it happen because you're coming. You're going to do it. And as soon as you happen, if you stop 2 or 3 feet up, you're going to be standing on a big red star, which a commissioner can tell you, Commissioner Ben, and it says on it, it's a big red star, and all it says is, I am. And then it shows the star. You're on the star. Hey, I am the star. I am. You can make yourself a star. You make anything you want in your life, man. You can do. Just don't never. Hey, winners. They never quit, and quitters never win. And just take that and take it to the bank, man. I'm telling you, just do it. And every dog has his day. And to all the girls and boys out there, man, whatever you want to do, I don't care if you want to be a garbage man or a lawyer, doctor. Hey, look at our daughter; she's a doctor. We got my son. He's in Vero Beach, and he has 3 or 4 businesses. He's really doing great. And all my kids are really my 2 daughters. One of my daughters, God bless. She was a child diabetic and juvenile, and from 4 years old up, and she made it to 51. God bless her, and had 2 wonderful children, and lived her life, and that's pretty long for a child diabetic, and just a sweetheart. But 2 other daughters, they're just excelling, and wonderful families, and it's just just don't give up your dream, whatever it is. You all had it. You guys got together and had a dream, and of doing what you're doing, and starting out just like you said, just with a little computer and this and that, and look where you've gone. And look, you're living it, brother. You're doing it. You're busting records. You're out there. You're on top, man. Your main event. You're the best in the world. In the universe, and And I just take my hat off to you because you don't stop, and you're going to go more and more. You're going to get bigger and bigger, and BWC is going to be right with you, man. Hey, all we want here at camp, at Boogie's Wrestling Camp Hall of Fame Museum in Shawsville, Virginia, is whatever just rolls off of Dan and Benny in the ring. We just want to be there to scoop it up, man. Hey, that's all we want, man. We're with you, man. We're going to be right with you all the way.
Appreciate that.
I love it. You know, speaking of BWC, every Friday, Benny posts on the Facebook page all the wrestling events in the area for the weekend. And one thing that all the posters always have in common is there's a BWC wrestler featured on them. And it's not just the local Virginia shows. It's West Virginia, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Maryland. Obviously, we talked last time you were on Hangman Page on national television every week on AEW. I think it speaks volumes of the show or the school. But speaking of the school, you mentioned it earlier, January 1st, BWC started producing a bi-weekly YouTube show, Wrestling Live from the BWC. Benny is your commissioner. We've had a bit of an inside look on things and can tell everybody. I mean, really, just you could see the quality of the show. But I was wondering if you could kind of expand on how many people and the work that goes into producing the show, and maybe where our listeners can find it, because you did talk about how many episodes you've all have had.
You bet, Dan. You know, and this is what is so. I am just so thrilled with what's happening here, and it's all my kids. I have nothing to do or say, and this is how I want it. Hey, I want them to do everything. I have one of the greatest producers, Yellow Man, and he's got a assistant producer, man, Big H, and they take care of all that. And then I have so many elite instructors, you know, with our head instructor, Big Mike, and oh my goodness, you go right down the line on all our instructors, and I mean, you know, this is an institution, you know, and then of course my floor manager. Hey, in fact, I'm there, like Benny said, you know, I get there early, and Benny gets there 10:30. He gets there early. I'm already there. I got kids there, man. You're right. They're out there sweeping. They're up there, and I'm not asking them, man. They just want to help. They just want. Hey, they're tightening the ropes for me. That you know, they're doing everything, and I'm busy doing this, and we're all busy. We're all jamming, and Benny, we're all talking to each other, man, and laughing and hugging. First thing you do is get a hug, man. Everybody hugs, and you know, and hey, it's family. You know, once you belong to BWC, you are family for life. You know, but the thing is, Benny can tell you, you know, I work all the way up until all the training's done, and around 2:00ish, you know, that they really worked out. Big Mike's worked them out, and all, with my other elite instructors, and then when the TV starts, I leave. I go to the house with my angel. Angel's downstairs, and I always bring someone up to be measured. So they want the outfits for Angel's wrestling wear, and you know, she's doing all the outfits for everybody. You know, hey, I have robes, man, singlets, you name it, masks, capes, whatever you can think of, she can make, and she'll work right with you. And you know, the good thing about Angel's wrestling wear is that you don't have to be a student. You can, you know, just email her at Jimmy Valiant at Outlook.com, or just check her. She has all her robes. She has everything on, of course, our website, which is Brian Powell, and he does that. He's our webmaster, and that's Jimmy Valiant at Outlook.com. I'm sorry, that's my word. That's Jimmy Valiant at Weebly. Weebly.com. There's 2 dots there. JimmyValiant.Weebly.com. JimmyValiant.Weebly.com. And everything's there, or or if you just Google, like I said earlier, it'll come up, the camping, the wrestling work company and everything. But yeah, we're all there to help. But it's a blessing to me. We're an institution that, and we've been all together. I have kids been with me for 30 years, man. You know, they come when they're just little boys, young preteens even. Man, they started with me, you know, and now they're instructing and they're helping, and it's just something that hey, they handle it, man. It's all their idea. Benny's got great ideas. Benny, man, he helps me rewrite stuff. He helps me all week long, man. He's there right there in the ditches with me, and we talk every day, you know, through the internet. And hey, I'm old school, Dan, brother. I don't have a cell phone. People don't believe it. I don't have a cell phone. I got a landline. I'm on a landline right now, guys. And this landline, if you call me, there's no call ID thing on this. I don't even know what that is, man. There's no call waiting. There's no. Hey, if the phone rings, I pick up. Hey, man. Hey, yeah, man. I don't know who I'm talking to. Yeah, I pick it up, man. They want to talk, I talk. You know, but there's no. I don't even have an answering machine, man. You know. Hey, and if I want to take a nap, Benny knows. Hey, I just unplug it. I turn it off for an hour, and I just close my eyes during the day because I get up early. I farm. I call it farm. I take care of all the land. I mow. I do everything, man, and you know, all the landscaping and stuff. And so I'm busy, and I'm out there daylight, brother. Daylight, man. I go to work, and I already worked out an hour, you know, before that, and you know, you got to just keep jamming and busy. But I'm so proud of the kids because they're making this happen. And Dan, hey, at the beginning, yes, they're getting better at all time, and they're getting their ideas, and they're doing everything themselves, and it's just a blessing to me. I want that. That's what I want. And you know, I'm just there early, and I get things rolling, man, and I take care of everything. And once they start, brother, hey, I want to see it just like you, Dan. You know, Benny's there live with them now, and Benny, we're so glad to have you back in Virginia, you know, and from Florida, and now that you and Dan, you can do your thing for anywhere you're at, and you Dylan there in Florida with us BWC, but now we get to see the commissioner live, and you are such a welcome to us all, and they all respect so much you know, your word and what you have, the input you have, and you're just a blessing to me. I'm telling you, man. We just all love you, Commissioner Benny.
Thank you. And I mean, I have to say, I've been welcomed with open arms there, and it really is. I mean, I keep saying that when you go there, it's like a family reunion. But Jimmy, I recently celebrated a birthday, and it really is, when I think about how old I am, it's really surreal. I mean, it's hard to believe that, you know, I am 68 years young, but you know, at an age where most people are on the couch, you know, eating potato chips, watching Lifetime Network. Here I am talking to Jimmy Valiant about being a professional wrestler, you know, making my professional wrestling debut, which I think might be a world's record if I can do it. But you know, in that regard, you're my role model because you're still going strong, and you're going to be celebrating number 81 in a little bit more than a month. And you know, besides the school and your Hall of Fame career, and you have kids and grandkids, you have so many huge accomplishments in your career and in your life. What are you the most proud of?
My goodness, just this great profession, and Vinny, Commissioner, all I want to do, Dan, is just be a goodwill ambassador for professional wrestling, and it's just been so good to me, so good to my family, so good, raised all my kids, and you know, I'm just so proud of being part of this great profession. And here at BWC, we teach of course, the new stuff which the kids see. It changes, and everything changes in life. Even your body, every 7 years, your body changes. All the way up. And finally, the Bible will say, then you return back to your childhood, and it's true. Man, you end back up in a feted position, man, and if you live long enough, it's just like BWC. Everything goes around in a circle, man, it's just a blessing. I just love this business, man. I just can't get enough of it, and to be still like that. They've been trying to get me to come out to Waterloo, to the Luthez and Dan Gable and their Hall of Fame and their ceremony and everything. And I'm going this year. I'm going in a couple more weeks, and they're flying me out. And I don't, as Commissioner Benny knows, and other people, I don't fly no more. I don't this no more. I don't try to go long trips no more. But I will take a few that is really important, and they've been trying to get me out for years, and it's just Herb Simmons from St. Louis. Everybody loves Herb, and Herb, he's sponsoring me and bringing me out and taking care of me, man, and I take my hat off to that, man. I just love him, and thank you, and I want to go. And Baron von Raschke, he's the nicest man in the world, I tell you, and he's my buddy. We started at the same time, 60 years ago, and we're just kids, man, and man, what a double tough cat he was, man, and still is. God bless him, but he's, we're all broken down some, but he's sitting there. Let me tell you a funny story. I was at the gathering last year in Charlotte, and I haven't seen the Baron in so many years, and he's sitting there with Batera right next to him, same table, and I go up and we're just shooting the breeze, having fun, and I said, man, boys, I said, brother, I said, like yesterday when we all started, we're all friends, but I said, listen to this, I said, here, man, here next to you, Baron, I said, is the strongest man in the world. He's the first guy that I think, pressed 500 pounds, and that was a feat years ago for a bench press, and now he's pressing it, But anyway, and then I said, and then you, what a shooter people don't know, but oh my goodness, what an amateur he was. He went to Nebraska, high school. He was the heavyweight champion, high school heavyweight champion. In Nebraska, go Big Red, man. And then he was went to the Pan Am Games. He went to the Army. He wrestled for the Army. That's all he did. That was his job when the U.S. Army, man. He just wrestled. People don't know that. Then he turned pro with Vern Gagne, but the thing is, he gets up and God bless, he's got to have a little cane or whatever to help him, and which it was that's no knock, man. He's my brother. I just love him, but he's moving a little slow, but he's sitting down now. And here's the thing, and I says, here's the strongest man in the world, and here is the one of the toughest shooters in the world right here, and I says, I tell you what, there's no way nobody even today can the Batera press you right now today, brother. And then I turned to Raschke, I'm standing up, and I said, and there's no way to get behind you, Baron. I was like, you're going to get behind him and take him down, right? And there's no way to get behind you. And brother, when he did, and he's so witty. When I said that, he turned his torso, from waist up. Boom, right towards me, like he was ready, like I was trying to get behind him. So he was ready, what I'm talking? It was so funny, and it just cracked us up, man. but in other words, when he got up, he could hardly, he'd have to get his balance and everything. But sitting down, man, it was like 60 years ago when he was a kid. He turned so fast. Oh, it was so funny, just witty. Him and Bobby Heenan, man, we started at the same time. And Bobby, man, you talk about, man, what we would be just laughing, just dying, man, at both of them because they were both so fast. And well, you know how him and Monsoon worked, and Bobby was the greatest, man.
What a great company they were.
Yeah. Yes,
absolutely.
So, Dan, real quick, I'd like to. I quickly went upstairs to the commissioner's office while Jimmy was chatting. And if we have a minute here, I wanted to show off some of Jimmy's the new Boogie T-shirt, as well as one of Angel's wrestling wear's personal creation. So Jimmy can't see this, but being that we're going to be on YouTube and be in video format tomorrow, this is the BS Express vest that Angel made for me. That was actually paid for by Dr. Scott Storm. So I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah.
All right. Jimmy can't, but hopefully I this hangs in my closet with pride, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and I mean everything she makes. A lot of the wrestlers in camp, you'll see them coming in with new gear, and that just the look on their face when they have new gear, it makes them work a little bit better. I don't know, I don't know if that's how that works because I've never been in the ring yet, but it transforms them. It makes them, kicks their game up a notch. And here's the, let's see, I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, looks good.
Beautiful tie-dye T-shirt. On the back it says, "Where dreams become reality, BWC, established 1992, Shawsville, Virginia. Only you can make it happen." So had to give a little quick infomercial there.
Oh,
well,
beautiful.
now that you've shown off the gear, any of the BWC Jimmy Valiant fans out there, how would they get a hold of that?
Yeah, same way. Just you can email me at jimmyvaliant@outlook.com, and hey, we'll. That's actually my straight to me. And again, I don't know how to turn this computer on. I've never in my life, but my angel, my baby, my lady, she does everything, and me and Benny talk every day, Dan, and it's always from me, and now she'll talk to, of course, Commissioner too, but everything, if you write, then what I'm doing is dictating. I mean, because I don't know nothing about it, brother. I don't want to know. I'm old school, and which is cool. But hey, I mean, maybe it's just something now. I'll tell you a funny story. When I was in school, man, I spent 2 years in third grade. And I just wasn't interested in school. I sport. I played football. I just loved the school, but I wasn't interested. I never took a book home. I never read a book in my life. And now, me and Angel wrote my own biography, 600-something pages. We have no more. We went to 2 printings, and they're all gone. Benny, I just seen one of someone won $400 for one on eBay.
Wow.
Man,
Damn.
it's unreal. But anyway, there is no more. But I do have a book I just came out with. It's my blueprint, how to become a professional wrestler, and it's really good. Benny knows he has one. But the thing is, yes, sir. But the thing is that it's just a blessing that all this came together. Now I read all the time, because of writing that book and doing it. And I'd be on the road, and she would write what I would tell her, and work on it, and then I would have to approve it when I was doing my autobiography and my life story, and it was called Message Daddy, Welcome to My World, the Jimmy Valiant story, man, 600 pages. But anyway, the whole thing is that I started reading and while I was writing that book, man, I'm in love with reading. I read every day of my life, man. I can't get enough. I just read. I'll read anything, man. I read anything, and now what a student I would make. I every morning, Dan and Benny knows it. Every morning I get up early, man, and I write Angel a love letter, and I by hand, I no type. I mean, it's all, and that's this is going to be a lost art, brother. Writing and talking to people, but not for me, I'm still writing. So I write her a love letter every single day, man, and 7 days a week. And if I'm home, and I'm home now, and the thing is, I love that, and I love the school. I could be the best. Now what a student I could be. I want to go back to school. Because I missed all that, man. And I didn't go to kindergarten because they didn't have kindergarten in Indiana when I started at that period. In back in the 40s, and they had kindergarten there, but not in our area or our section or whatever. And so I just went to first grade, and first grade, I didn't know how to read. I didn't know how to say nothing, because our people, we just didn't. We were just Southern people, and it just wasn't taught, passed down. Now they go to preschool and then preschool and then kindergarten, and man, oh man, now they're reading, 3-4 years old, they're doing ABCs, counting, and hey, I couldn't do nothing. I was playing, man. I was out there playing, doing, outside and learning stuff and outside but it's a complete different world now, and of course, and there's all this computer and stuff and talking, but it's just a blessing, man, that now I'm living my childhood, I'm doing that, brother. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Of course. Benny, I can't think of a better way to celebrate Independence Day than what we just did. So before we let Jimmy go, final thoughts to you?
Well, like I said, it's just anybody who, yes, it's a little bit difficult to find Shawsville, Virginia, but once you get there, I can promise you that you will not regret the trip, and I guarantee you'll leave with a smile on your face. And I've posted on Facebook that if you come to camp, just introduce yourself to me, and I'll buy you. Jimmy introduced me to Smart Food the other day at camp. It's this great popcorn. I'll buy them a Smart Food and a water or a Coke or whatever they want. And but a guaranteed promise, they will leave with a smile on their face, and they will come back. It's just that great of a place.
Thank you. And he did, and that's true. The true story, man. Hey, Commissioner Benny, he don't play, man. What he says, you take it to the bank. It's just like Vince McMahon Sr. I'm telling you, brother. Hey, whatever he told me, brother, it happened. And I just love him. I love Benny, and I love you, Dan. And I can't wait for Benny to have his first match. Benny, it's never too late, man. It's never too late to do anything, whatever in your life, man. Hey, I'm talking about going back to school, man. I might go to college, man. Hey, who knows? Hey, I got, Virginia Tech's only 20 miles from here, and Radford University's here. Hey, we're just an hour from the door-to-door to Liberty, University in Lynchburg, Virginia. There's a lot of colleges, but hey, who knows? Whatever you want to do in life, man. And I can't wait, Benny. Honestly, I want you to get in there and be the oldest wrestler that ever, put on a pair of boots and actually had a match. And hey, just 3-4 weeks ago, I was back in the ring. I'm just not getting licensed no more because I'm done with that. And there's a few states. When I started out, guys, every state almost, and I've wrestled almost every state in our union, and every state had commissioners almost, and now just a handful has, and so I would get Kentucky, I'd get, of course, Virginia, they commissioned, and I'd get Maryland has a commission, and I'd get South Carolina, but our surrounding states here in Virginia, where we are, in the New River Valley, man. I mean, you can be in Tennessee in less than an hour. You can be in North Carolina less than an hour. You can be in West Virginia less than an hour. I mean, so we have them states, and all three of them, there's no commission. So, when someone, I go and they book me and hey, I'll referee, I'll wrestle. It don't matter. I'll get back in there, brother, but I don't do nothing. I just, get in there and do a little boogie woogie, and that's all they want to see, man. And hey, I kiss them. I goose them. I do the Humpty Dumpty. I ride them, and I tag my partner, my kid, a young kid, and he does all the flying and bumping and flying head scissors and whatever, and because he already done all that stuff, But Benny, as old as not you're not old, brother, at all, 67. You kidding? But as mature as you are, you're a man, and they see that. And you come out, and I know you got so much confidence, and you just come out there, man. They say, "Oh man, look at this old timer," and they will sense that, they don't know it's your first match, and it's a beautiful art, it's something that's put together. Everything's a science, and it's just hey, it just thrilled me to see that and have that happen. And I'll tell you what I want to do, which is right now. I started wrestling in the 60s, so 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, 210, 220. So that's seven decades I've wrestled in. So now, this is 2023. So if God lets me live 7 more years, and it goes in, to another decade, which would be, in the 2030, in 2030, then I'm going to get back in the ring if I can, just for 1 minute, just to say, hey man, I wrestled in 8 decades. You know what I mean? Just for fun, man. Hey, for nothing else. And that's what you're doing. You want to enjoy yourself. You want to wrestle, brother. Come and wrestle, man. And hey, we'll put you with someone that will really have a good match with you and tell a story. And that's the whole thing to our business, And it's like making a movie, brother. It's like making a movie, and hey, you look at the old movies, the old cowboy movies. They had the white hats and the black hats. You had the bad guy, and you watch him, boy. Oh man, for a half hour show, say, man, half hour. That heel, man, that bad guy, he got over, man. He was, oh man, you're so mad at this guy, but on the finish, man, that guy with the white hat that he was taking, advantage of and messing around and you're just really ruining his life and putting a thorn in his side. Hey, he pulled that thorn out, man. He made that big comeback, and man, that guy went to the jail or to whatever. They had the big shootout, whatever happened, and and then hey, he rides away, like Roy Rogers, happy trails to you, on the horse singing and with the girl, and hey, he did it all, man, and hey, this is all you got to tell that story, man. You got to, and it's part of our life, and it's the greatest profession in the world. And Benny, we're just so glad to have you, and Dan, thank you so much for inviting inviting me, Dan and Benny in the ring. And, man, I want to be not only the goodwill ambassador for, professional wrestling for BWC, and of course for Dan and Benny in the ring, and again, one time if I could just invite everybody out any Sunday, 12 noon to 4 p.m., 52 Sundays a year, and we're in Shawsville, Virginia. And just check out Jimmy Valiant at Outlook.com, or check out jimmyvaliant.weebly.com, or just Google Jimmy Valiant, and the school will come up, the address. And we're right around Roanoke, so right around Blacksburg, where Virginia Tech is, Christiansburg, 7 miles, Salem, Virginia, 7 miles, so you know where we're at. And just a real small town where we're at here from there. And hey, it don't matter if it's Mother's Day, Father's Day, because this, of course, is always falls on Sunday. And last year, Christmas fell on Sunday. We were open because we're only open 4 hours a week, guys. 52 Sundays a year, and in 32, 33 years now, we never have closed the doors, one Sunday, and it don't matter. If one person shows up, we'll have camp, bad weather or whatever. Hey, because all I got to do is just walk down the hill, and my head instructor, Big Mike, he lives in the White House, the house that me and Angel, we lived in for almost 30 years, 30, 20, late 20s, the house that when she found that house, she found her husband. That's the house that Big Mike, our main instructor, has. I gave him really a sweet deal, man. I charged him no interest. Everything's going on the principle. I just love that kid and his family, and he's a Marine, and he's the one of the best looking kids. And congratulations to Big Mike. He's getting this coming Saturday, Commissioner Ben. He's getting a tryout with the NWA, and yes, sir. Nice. So we wish the best for all our boys, and here's a little complete different situation now. I got so many boys tryouts years ago with WWF, but now they got their own process going. All these big companies now have their own process, and we're very fortunate. And like you mentioned, Dan, before, the Hangman, Adam Page, brother, he's the hottest thing in the country, man. I know WWE's after him. They're trying to sign him first of the year, so I don't know what he's going to do, but he's on fire, man, and such a nice man. And he went to Virginia Tech College. He was a school teacher, and just a most pleasant man. He's got a new baby, and just happy, beautiful wife, beautiful family, and his father. We talk a lot, back and forth like I do with Commissioner Benny, and we just wish the best for everybody, not only him, but everybody in this great profession of professional wrestling. And I just love you too. And man, if I can do anything for you or anybody, man, hey, you know how to get me, man. Jimmy Valiant at Outlook.com, man. And hey, we'll make something happen.
Can't end on a better note than that. So, Boogeyman, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. I know you're busy. You're running around, still active to this day. I turn 40 later this month. If I have a tenth of the energy that you do at 40 years from now, I consider myself blessed. But thank you again, Boogeyman, for Benny Scala. Thanks again for modeling the merchandise, Benny. Always great to see that. So the Long Island IZ and the Boogeyman, I'm Dan Spaciano. Have a good night, everyone, and we will see you next time we're in the ring.
Woo, messy, Boogeyman feel good. Check out Dan and Benny in the ring. Oh, yeah.